All right, this is a no frills instruction video. I'm just going to go through every button on the One World unit. I'm going to go through these 5 steps right with you here. You just click the I button here on the unit to initialize it. Just wait a few moments and then lock the unit down. Step 2. 3, we're just going to click the logo up here to bring up our base map. This is the hub map or your starting map, and then I'm just going to navigate some of these X buttons, and then finally I'm going to click the build button, and we are done with that card, so let's delete it. So I'm just going to go to any of these locations. Let's just click Seaside Mission. I'm going to click that X, and then that's going to allow me to build that set. It's going to bring up the base art. You click the build button, and your players are at Seaside Mission. That's as simple as getting to the first location. After that, you're on your own to just click around. So if we want to head out to the high seas, and from there let's go ahead and we can build that set. All right. Again, this is no frills. I'm just going to get straight to all of the buttons. The clear button down here, the first time you click it, it's going to clear away any objects on your table. The second time you click it, it's going to bring you back to a clear state on your One World hub. Let's go back. I can click the One World logo. It's going to take me to my base, and then I can walk any place I've been. So Seaside Mission, High Seas, back around to my main map, the Rule of Man. I can just walk through anywhere I've been, forward and back, and I can go back there again by clicking the gray button there, and walk off. Click, hit X's to head out anywhere else. So I want to go to Granville. I can just click that button again, or I can click a button and then click the gray word here, and that's going to take me to that zone for my players. I can build it, and it's running. Okay, so those are the basic buttons right here. This button here will go from clear down to end. When you click the end button, it's going to do just that. It's going to end your session, and it's going to bring up your One World bags, and you're viewing. There's 5 pieces here. You don't want to mess with these bags. You don't want to get into them. There's means of changing everything you need to change in these bags using the interface. Changing this stuff manually, if you don't know exactly what you're doing, is likely to just break your world. So you want to be careful. So if you actually wanted to edit something in that bag, you would use the tools here. Say I wanted to change the name of Rule of Man. What I would do is I would bring up my buttons here. I would go to Edit. With the Edit button, I could come in here and change this to Rule of Bob. And then when I'm come out of edit mode, and now we've changed the name of our base map. Okay, now I'll go over the rest of the buttons on the list. Let's open this panel up. There's your pack button. And I'm going to give you a quick overview. The pack button is used to pack anything that you've put out on the table into that set or that zone. The link button is going to issue out a link to the given zone that you're on so that you can drop those links onto other maps. We just looked at edit. Copy kind of explains itself. If you're in a zone and you want to make a copy of it, right here we're at the Rule of Bob here. We've now made a copy of this base map, and you can do with that what you will. You can drop it on to make a new zone. Let's get back into the interface. Delete, again, makes pretty good sense. So let's go ahead and drop the Rule of Bob on there and then delete it. I'm going to clear. And I'm going to take this new map that we just had. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and change the name of this back to the Rule of Jane. And now we're going to just drop this onto the base, and it's going to pack in. And now we have a new zone in here that we can do what we want. You'll notice there's no links on this zone, and I can put it in here in any direction I want. That's what these 2 buttons are for, is changing the orientation of your artwork on your table. Now I have a new link to the Rule of Jane, and I can put that wherever I want. So if we go back to the Rule of Bob that's a little bit confusing since it's the same art image. Let's go somewhere else. Let's just jump back over to our seaside mission, and I'm going to just grab the rule of Jane. I'm just going to drop it up in this upper corner right here. So now when we go back to the rule of Jane, we're here at this new map. Now I can come in here and I'm going to go ahead and use the delete on here. Before I do that, let's go ahead and grab an object and throw it out onto the table. So we have our objects out on our table, and we are going to pack this new zone. We're going to pack it. Once done, we can click backwards to go back to that area, build that area, and there's those objects that we laid out on the table. Of course, those would be walls or monsters or whatever you'll have. And now that we have the new rule of Jane sitting in there, I'm going to delete. The first time I delete, it's going to delete those objects. The second time I delete the entire zone, the rule of Jane is now gone. All right, but we're back out here to the rule of Bob, and I'm going to come back in here and I'm going to change it back to the rule of man. But let's say we also wanted to change the art on this piece. We could do that. Let's grab the custom art off of this piece up here. Let's come back and put it over the top. So we now have changed the artwork out on our base art. We've also changed the name of it. And when I'm done, I'm just going to edit here. Click the edit button, and now when I come back in to the rule of man, we've changed the art on it and we've changed the name of it. Those are the two areas you can change with the edit button. So we've packed, we've created links, we've edited, we've made copies, deleted. Now export. Let's go ahead and pull up a zone. Let's go ahead back. We're just going to go back to that seaside mission because we've been here. And I'm going to build up that zone. So now that that zone is built, I can just hit the export button, and that is bagged up and ready to go. You could take that and put it up onto the workshop if you've made a zone that you want to share with other people. Again, you don't want to mess with any of the syntax here. It's important to the interface. But if we grab this bag and we drop it back onto a blank One World hub, it is going to import this entire new zone back into the unit. Now it's kicked out a link for us here, and so let's just come back out to our main map and drop this new link that we just created, and that's going to take us right back to the zone we just imported. And we can build it right up. And there's the zone in the One World system. Now there's a few other buttons. If you clear your base, you're going to see two other buttons. There's See All and New. Now if you hit the See All button, what that's going to do is it's going to load from Z to A everything that you have loaded in. So you can go backwards alphabetically through every one of the zones, forward through your zones, and go to any of them to look at them. So if we want to just run out here and look at the high pass, you can just click at it, and there's the high pass. You want to build it, and you'll notice that build button only presents when it is available. Since the set is already built, you're not going to see a build button, but if we clear away it's available again. Now back out to the front, let's clear. The only other button that we have left here is this new button. The first time you click it, if you just click it once, it's going to give you a new one of these panels to begin creating a new zone with. If you double click the new button, it's going to end your session, and it's going to pull your world bags up for you to store away, and it creates new world bags for you so you can begin making your own brand new world. Now what you want to do here is you're going to want to name your world. So same name here. You're going to want to make it the same on both of them. So we're going to call this Bill's Place, and you're going to want to make sure that both of these are named on both bags. Bill's place. Now you have a unique world, bags. There's 0 objects in both of these bags. But if I take these bags that I've been using with the world in it, which I call my world just one world ROM for rule of man, I'm just going to drop these into here so they're off of the table. And then when you initialize or lock down the unit, you're now using new bags. So you have nothing loaded in here. To get started, you would simply take one of these new tokens, drop it on there, and now you're starting from the very beginning. Now again, we don't even have a name for this zone yet. We have a link, but we have no place to go. So if we wanted to get to going someplace, we'd have to clear it and grab another zone to get started with. Now we have 2 zones in here. Unfortunately, well, we've got this one named a little different, name of set. So we have name of zone and name of set. Let's go ahead and drop this button here. Click over to that zone, and then we'll drop this button here. And now we're going back and forth between the 2. And that's the sum of it. I believe we've covered every button that's here to be used. I hope this is helpful. Again, I'm sorry that it was a little gritty. There's plenty of mistakes, but that's not what it's for. It's just for you guys to get the basics. I hope that you're enjoying One World. If you have any questions, friend me, send me a friend request, or put a note on the One World page, and we'll get together and we'll figure it out. Thanks a lot.